everyone, this is Aishwarya and welcome to Beauty with Coach. So guys, today we are going to discuss about exceptions in Python. Okay, and yes, what exception is? See, exception means anything, any abnormal condition which disrupts the flow of a program. Okay, this halts the program in between. Okay, don't worry, I'll explain it using an example. So let's say we have a program of 15 lines. Okay, so 15 lines are there, fine, but an abnormal condition occurred at third line. Okay, so from fourth line to 15th line, nothing is going to execute, no matter if everything is correct or not. So nothing is going to happen. Okay, so program will be halted at third line only. Why? Because of that abnormal condition. Okay, so what can be that abnormal condition, isn't it? So 5 common types of exceptions are there. First one, divide by zero error or zero division error. So let's say you have written a simple code, a is equals to int input, b is equals to int input, and print a by b. Code is correct, isn't it? So code is correct, compiler will throw no error, isn't it? So no compilation error is there, so no logical error, no syntax error, nothing is there. But now you have to give input, isn't it? Because a and b are user defined number, so no error was there till now, but now you gave a is equals to 2 and b is equals to 0, so this will throw an error, isn't it? Because 2 divided by 0, this is not an error but exception, isn't it? So 2 divided by 0, this is an abnormal condition because you cannot divide anything by 0. So yes, this will throw an exception, and maybe you have written a long piece of code, everything correct after this print statement, nothing is going to execute. Okay, this will be halted. Okay, everything will be halted because of only this abnormal condition. Okay, so many more types of exceptions are there. So first one is zero division error or divide by zero error. Second one is name error. Okay, so let's say initially you give a is equals to int input. After doing so much of work, you forgot what was the name of your variable, and you are asking to print b. Okay, but b is not there in program because you stored your value in a, and now you are asking to produce or to print b as your output, isn't it? So it's not possible. So this is called name error. I hope you understood. Third one is iteration error. So in Python there is no concept of braces, but yes, after if, after for, while, else, these kind of thing, and now here also, don't worry, I'll show you an example. So yes, after what we call colon, after colon we give 4 blank spaces, isn't it? This is nothing but iteration. So this must be exactly 4 blank spaces. If it's 3 or 5, this will throw an error. Okay, exception, sorry. So this will be exception, that is iteration exception. Okay, so iteration error or exception will be there. So iteration error, that is called, and this is also what we call that abnormal condition. Why? Because everything was correct, just one blank space, and this can halt your program. Okay, next one is input output error or IO error. See, in program you wrote a is equals to int input, and after so many lines now you are running the program, everything was correct, and you gave Aishwarya as your input. So Aishwarya is not an integer, isn't it? You are supposed to give an integer input. So this is input output error. By the way, this is not the only example, it can be anything, it can be logical error, it can be anything. So if your exception is because of input or output, then this will throw input output error or IO error. And last one is EOF error, that is end of file error. Okay, so this is like your file has ended or your file has reached the its end, and after that you have like 3-4 operations left to be done, then this will not be executed. Like if file has ended, everything will be closed. After that, no matter how important thing you have written, that is not going to execute, and this is EOF error or end of file error. So I hope you understood the theoretical concept. Now I'm going to show you an example so that everything will become clearer. Okay, and one more thing, before moving to example, one more thing. Yes, exceptions are there, you understood, but what can we do? I mean, should we leave everything? No, we can handle such exceptions. Okay, so these exceptions can be handled. Okay, your compiler itself cannot handle, okay, cannot tackle with these exceptions, but you can. How? Go and see the example, you will understand. So guys, don't worry, I'm going to explain everything using example so that everything will become clear. Okay, so n is equals to input. So n can be any string, isn't it? User given string, and string can have anything as its character. It can be alphabets, it can be numbers, it can be special characters, it can be anything. Okay, so let's say our string is beauty with codes. Okay, so n is equals to beauty with codes. Let's say I'm just giving an example for making things clearer. Okay, now try. So we are trying. What we are trying? This block will always execute. Okay, no matter whether it will produce output or not, but yes, this will execute. Okay, so try. Now move to try block. So try block we are trying to convert our n into integer, isn't it? We are typecasting and then printing the value, but it's not possible to convert beauty with codes in integer, isn't it? Because each and every character of beauty with codes is alphabet and not a number. So we cannot convert beauty with codes into an integer, isn't it? So this will throw an exception, isn't it? And exception means we are trying to do something forcefully which is not possible. So we cannot convert beauty with codes into integer. So we are trying something which is not possible, isn't it? So it threw an exception. So yes, this except block is just checking whether exception has been thrown or not. If yes, then this block will execute. Okay, so here exception has been thrown because beauty with code cannot be converted into integer. So except block should execute or produce output or do whatever it is supposed to do, isn't it? In our case, it is supposed to print, it cannot be converted into a number. So this will be printed as output. It cannot be converted into a number because except block is true, isn't it? Or exception has occurred. Now since exception has occurred, there is no use of else. Okay, no use of else. So don't worry, I'll explain this using second example. Next, finally block. No matter whether exception has occurred or not, whatever happened, finally block will always execute. So this will produce we understood, no matter whether exception occurred or not. Okay, one more example I want to take just for explaining this else part. Okay, so let's say n is equals to 100. So we passed 100 as our string. Okay, so at this point, if you check the type of 100, that 100 which we passed, that will be string. Why? Because this is supposed to contain string input, isn't it? Now we are trying to convert that 100 into an integer, and it is possible, isn't it? We can easily convert because 100, all the character of our string is what we call that number, isn't it? Or integer, so it can easily be converted into integer. So this will print so sorry, so yes, we are trying to do something which is possible, so there is no exception, and this will execute. Okay, and this since it is true, this will print 100 as its output. But since no exception is there, there is no use of executing this block or except block, isn't it? So we are not going to do anything with this except block. Now we'll move to else block. Why? Because exception has not occurred. So this will print string it is. Okay. So yes, this will print string it is, and after that finally you already understood, isn't it? One more thing I want to add, it's not like mandate to always give a finally block. You can skip that block. Okay, you can always skip that block. You can even skip this too. I mean else. You can even skip else block too. You can only like give try and except. So if exception occur, except block will execute, otherwise nothing will happen. Okay, so yes, so finally block is not a mandate, else block is not a mandate, but yes, without except else cannot be there with try. Okay, so if else is there, then there must be except block. Okay, but yes, except can be there without else. Don't worry, just run the program and see. I'm going to use same thing. So beauty with quotes, we cannot convert this into a number. So exception occurred and it printed. This was my input, it printed, it cannot be converted into a number, and then we understood because of finally block. I hope you understood. Now what if my what if my input is 100? That's what I said now. We can convert 100 into an integer. So if we converted 100 into an integer and we printed this, so 100, and there was no exception, so this is supposed to print string it is, and it has printed string it is, and then because of finally block it printed we understood. So I hope you understood what exception is and how can you handle these exceptions. If no, then do let me know in comment section. I'll talk to you personally. And if yes, then sharing is caring, guys. Share with your friends as much as you can. So with this note, I'm wrapping up this video. Stay healthy, stay fit. Love you all. So this is Aishwarya signing off. Bye bye bye.